Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would talk to you about my Vipassana experience, Vipassana meditation course experience. If you're not familiar with what Vipassana is, it is an ancient meditation technique that was originally founded by Gautama Buddha back in India like 2500 years ago. And it was kind of lost after 500 years, and then it was rediscovered and then kept alive. It was a very small community of people that knew about it, and it was kept alive from teacher to pupil and teacher to pupil, and then it was rediscovered and kind of brought back. And in the past, I think, century or so, it's kind of really found popularity because of its benefits that people have found. And now, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's over 150 centers all over the world. And what these centers do, they provide space for people to come from wherever you are, any community, any religion, any background, any age group, to come to the center and learn this technique. There's a 10-day meditation course that you take that teaches you the technique, and then if you complete that 10-day course, then you have the chance to come and do shorter courses. They also offer 3-day courses and I believe 1-day courses as well. What the most amazing thing about the centers is that these centers are run by donations only, so which means that people that have taken the course and have found benefit from the experience then give back, and it's founded, like I said, by donations and also volunteers. So it's really an incredible experience when you're there to know that the only way that you are there, the only way that you could be there, is because of the goodwill and the generosity of the people that have done the course before and wanted to pay it forward. So it's really powerful and a heartwarming experience. So a little bit more about the actual technique. What it is basically the science of body and mind and the connection that it has on how you react to the world around you. So the word Vipassana actually means to see things as they really are, and that is done through self-observation. So what the technique teaches, I'm gonna try to summarize it just to make it more concise in the video. So what the technique does is you basically, it's not connected to any sectarial thing, any dogma, any religion, anything really. It's just you working with the simplicity of your breath and your bodily sensations. So the 10-day course, I'll quickly explain how it all works. So what you do is you come to the center and you are shown to your room, which you could be sharing with a roommate, or at the center here in Ontario. It's in this beautiful forest, basically in the woods, and these little, they're not really cottages, like simple 1 to 2 people huts, I guess. Like there's heating and everything. It's well maintained. And then there's also a separate meditation hall and then a dining hall. So you're staying at your room, and then you also go and have your meals at the dining hall, and then the meditation center, you're meditating for many hours a day. And that's the whole point of being there. And then when you arrive at the meditation center, you basically are supposed to get rid of anything that could be distracting. So your phone, your journals, your books, anything at all. So you're basically left with just your necessities, your clothes and toiletries and whatnot. And then you take, the first day you arrive in the afternoon, you register, you have an orientation, you're shown to your room, you get settled. And then there's, in the evening, you take a noble silence, and basically the whole 10 days you're not supposed to look at anybody or speak to anybody unless you have questions with the teachers there. And yeah, it's really incredible. It's very difficult and challenging because in my experience it was basically like a boot camp for the mind, because our minds have so many thoughts that go through them, and as you're sitting there, you know, trying to meditate, your mind really goes nuts, you know, it just kind of goes all over the place. And it takes a few days to just, through discipline, just sit there and have your mind to become calm and peaceful and focused on the technique. So the first 3 days you are taught Anapana technique, which is basically paying attention to your breath. So between the bottom of your nostrils and the top upper lip, you are, you know, sitting in a whatever position you like, whatever is comfortable for you, and you have your eyes closed and you are practicing to keep focus on the sensations that arise from breathing. A simple breath, you're not learning, you're not doing any actual breathing exercises. You're just your natural breath going in, going out, and the sensations that might arise from that. So what that does is really trying to develop your faculty of awareness through doing that. So that's just for 3 days. You're just focusing on that, and then on the 4th day you are introduced the actual Vipassana technique, which is basically learning to pay attention to the sensations in your body that arise and to not react to them, because that is basically where all the misery comes from. So when we react to the sensations that we experience, it either causes us aversion or craving. So if something feels good to us, then we obviously want more of it. We want to experience more of it. And if something doesn't feel good, then we don't want the experience, we push back towards it. And even if something feels good, because it's not gonna last, it eventually will cause us misery as well. So basically all the misery in life comes from being attached to something. So this technique teaches you something that's called anicca, which is the wisdom of everything passing. You know, it arises and it passes away, and everything being transitory in life and nothing lasting. So when you know that whatever you're experiencing is not going to last, it helps you to just learn to be less reactive to it, and to be more equanimous and just more at peace. And as you practice the technique more and more, it's slowly at the very deep level of your mind, the subconscious level of your mind, it cleanses and purifies your mind and allows you to, again, just be liberated of the shackles of the mind, so to speak. So again, that's just like a summary of what the technique is. And then again, like I was saying, on the 4th day you are taught the Vipassana technique, and then the schedule is pretty grueling, and basically you are kind of communicated with through bells, because you're not supposed to be speaking to anybody. So they'll ring the bell at 4 o'clock, then again 4:20, and from 4:30 to 6:30 is your time to meditate on your own. You can be in the hall or at your room, and then 6:30 is breakfast, and then you have some time to rest if you want, or meditate again. And then from 8 to 11 again you are meditating for 1 hour altogether, and then you have time to do it on your own for another 2 hours before lunch at 11 o'clock, from 11 to 12. And then you have again some time to rest, and then from 1 to 5 again is meditation time, where in between you're sitting with everyone, and then you have time to do it on your own. 5 o'clock, if it's your first time doing the 10-day course, you have a tea break. If it's your first time doing it, you get tea and some fruit, so there's no actual meal at 5 o'clock. And then if you are an old student, then you don't get any fruit, you just have some tea. And so basically your last meal is from 11 to 12. And for me, I have a really strong attachment to food. So when I was going the first time, I knew that the hardest thing for me would be just being hungry and not eating, and that was the case for me. It was really hard for me. The food is actually very good. It's prepared again by volunteers, old student volunteers that come back to serve the course, which is just so beautiful and so humbling. And it's delicious, healthy vegetarian food. Yeah, so it's like buffet style. So you come into the dining hall and you serve yourself, and you sit and eat in silence. And yeah, so then after dinner, or like after your tea break, from 6 to 7 is a group sitting meditation, and then from 7:15ish to about 8 something you get a discourse by the actual teacher who passed away already. So they do either tapes or they play a video at the discourse, and basically that is when you're really taught the technique for that day, or like what you're supposed to be doing. And that was like the best part of the day, because it's kind of like a movie time, you know. Well, it's not really a movie, but you know, for the 10-day course they would play the video, so you watch S.N. Goenka is the teacher sit and explain the technique and just talk about more what Vipassana is and how it can benefit you. And that was really for me was like the best part of the day. And then it ends at about like 8:30ish or so, or 8:15 or so, and then you have another 30 or 45 minutes of group meditation. And then 9 o'clock, if you have any questions for teachers, there's actual teachers there as well. You can go and ask them any questions you have, and that's it. And then you go to your room and you do whatever you need to do, and then lights out at 9:30 or 10. And then it starts all over again till the end of the course. And then the course ends on a Saturday, usually begins on a Wednesday. So it's 10 days until like next Sunday, and then another week Sunday. So Saturday evening, usually the course will end, or in the afternoon, then the noble silence is lifted and you're able to talk if you choose to talk. So for me, the easiest part of the course was the not speaking, not talking. I actually love to not talk. Like if I could, I remember the first time I did it, I'll talk about it more of my experience and when I did it, but I just thought like, oh my god, if only I could not speak ever, like I would just be the happiest person. Because when we started to be able to talk again, I felt like I really didn't want to talk, and I was like, it's just so unnecessary. Like, I don't know, for me personally, that's how it is. I know for a lot of people, Mimi included, my sister who did the course first, that was the hardest thing for her because she loves to talk. Like, she's an extrovert and I'm an introvert, and yeah, so depends on the person, but for me that was the easiest part and the food was the hardest part. And then of course the actual meditation is very challenging, to sit there for hours and hours and hours on end. Obviously you have breaks in between, but just even sitting in one spot physically, it's hard, because unless you're like a yogi and you're used to meditating, which I wasn't and I'm still not, it's very challenging to do that just physically and mentally and emotionally, because stuff comes up. So yeah, so that's kind of like what the course is all about. And the reason I'm making this video to begin with, I should have started with that, because it's just so beneficial and so powerful, and it's such a simple technique that anybody can do and anybody should do. If you have any interest at all, I really strongly encourage you to check it out and see if there is a center near you and to go and do it, because like I said, anybody will benefit from the experience. It will not harm you in any way except make you more peaceful and equanimous and less reactive, which is why I went in the first place. And again, redid it just this past week. I came back on Sunday. Today is Tuesday. So the first time I did it was 3 years ago, exactly around this time. 3 years ago, it was, I think, beginning of March or something like that, middle of March. And actually, while I was at the Vipassana, I knew that I was late on my period, and I kind of knew that I was pregnant. And we were together with Demetri, obviously, living together, but we didn't plan on getting pregnant so soon. So yeah, that was a very interesting experience for me, because you know, I wasn't expecting to get pregnant, and it was emotional, and I couldn't talk to anybody, I couldn't take a test, I couldn't do anything except just sit with those thoughts and those emotions that were coming with that. So that was interesting. And the reason I went at a time when I was in a really difficult place, is when I first came back from LA. If you know my journey, you know kind of like part of the story. So I came back from LA and I met Demetri and we moved in together, and a lot of stuff happened in between from me moving to LA and coming back, and I was just like feeling kind of in a dark place and feeling depressed, and I didn't know really how to help myself. So yeah, I knew that I needed to do something radical and something kind of like where I can just go inside and really figure out what I'm feeling and how I can get out of that state. And yeah, the first time I went was very emotional and extremely healing. There was a lot of stuff that came up for me that needed to be healed. Certain things that I thought were healed came up that I didn't know that I still needed to heal those things, and they came up, and I was able to objectively work through those issues and things that were inside and really heal from them. I do believe that I've healed a lot from what was causing me misery and pain. And this time I went again because for the past 3 years, you know, being pregnant, then becoming a mother, and then being pregnant again and becoming a mother for the second time, becoming a mother of 2, it really takes a toll, at least in my experience, on your identity. It takes a toll on me, just like it took a toll on me physically, just being completely exhausted. And I am by nature a giver. I give to a point of like having nothing left and being completely depleted. So I am just so grateful to Demetri, who was so supportive and kind enough to, it was March break, and he just said, you know, go, I'll take care of the kids. And his mom was generous enough to come and kind enough to come and help out with the kids as well while I was gone. So I was just, while I was there, it was exactly what I needed, just even to be away from everybody and just to be on your own, finally, like be able to think clearly, be in nature. It's beautiful woods and magical, really magical, special place, and be able to sleep for 3 nights without being disturbed or woken up. And yeah, it was really, really much needed, and I enjoyed it so much. And this time around it was very different in a sense that it wasn't as emotional as the first time. Nothing really came up. I think it just was really good for me to be in a very, like, there were moments where I felt such profound peace that I haven't felt in a long time, because again, being a mom and being just non-stop in this mom mode, I really have kind of disconnected from myself, and being there helped me to reconnect back to my real self and to kind of not have the identity of a mom and a wife and all that. So it was really, really wonderful, and I'm so grateful that I had a chance to go. And I would go again many times. I would go for longer periods if I could. Right now, obviously, with having two little ones, the 3-day course is really more perfect. So we're looking into possibly going again with Demetri. They're gonna have another one in, I think, August coming up, so hopefully we can go again together. Just needed to take a little sip. Yeah, so that's basically it. I really just wanted to introduce you to Vipassana if you've never heard of it, and really encourage you to try it, because to go for the course, it is not easy, I'm not gonna lie. It is a very challenging experience in many ways. Like I said, for me, the not speaking, the noble silence was the easiest part, but I know for a lot of people, like my mom included, she's like, I can't not go and not talk, like I will lose my mind. So you actually don't lose your mind, you actually find your mind in a sense. You contain your mind, where you become just a lot more peaceful and equanimous. And also when the noble silence is lifted, you are taught something on the last day called metta meditation, or metta vipassana, yeah, meditation technique, which is basically sending love, compassion, and goodwill to yourself and to others, and just like wishing for peace in the world, which is so beautiful, and it's really one of my favorite parts of the course, and just doing the Vipassana meditations. So if you are a serious practitioner, they recommend doing an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening, once you are, you know, just in your daily life doing the Vipassana technique. And like I said, if I wasn't clear before, maybe, so basically you just sit there and you in a position that is comfortable for you, and you close your eyes, and you just, for the whole time you're meditating, you are just concentrating on observing the sensations and scanning your body for any kind of sensations that might arise, whether they are gross, powerful sensations that are unpleasant, like an itch or pain or throbbing or numbing. You know, when you sit and not move for a while, you know, your legs might get numb, or your arm might get tingly or whatever. Or it might be some pleasant sensations, like you, once you kind of develop the faculty of awareness, you become a lot more aware to just like subtle sensations in your body. And yeah, it just feels nice when you feel like there's no real like strong sensations, but you can feel the vibration coming and going through your body, and just like scanning your body for those sensations. So the whole point is that no matter what you're experiencing, you are sitting and you are observing those things and not reacting. So let's say you get an itch on your cheek or something. So the whole point is to remember and to practice the wisdom of anicca, which is that everything is arising and passing and nothing lasts, and it will eventually go away. So you basically just watch that sensation. Or let's say you're feeling pain in your back, you sit and you observe that pain as it comes, and eventually will go. And through doing that over and over and practicing that, it will help you in your daily life just to be, again, less reactive. And for me, it's a huge thing. I am an explosive, reactive person. It might not come through in videos, but unfortunately it's something that I just am like that, and I really don't want to be like that, especially having kids. I don't want to pass that baggage onto them. I want to be a lot more just peaceful and less reactive and equanimous person, mom, wife, whatever. So that is basically it, guys. And actually something that I thought I would talk about here just quickly, as I was sitting in one of the meditations, part of my journey right now is I'm trying to figure out what my bigger purpose is in life. Obviously I'm a mom now, and it's the most important job, you know, in life, and I embrace that. But as the kids are growing up, you know, you can't help but think about like, what are my next steps? What am I gonna do? What is my purpose? And as I was sitting and those thoughts were coming in meditation, something else, like an idea, just kind of came up, and I'll just be honest with you guys about it. So yeah, it just kind of came to me. It was almost like a vision and an idea that I would or I should, or I would organize basically like meditation circles with anybody who is interested in coming together to meditate. And again, it's not something that I have no idea how, if I would do it or how I would do it or when I would do it, but it's just an idea, and I wanted to bring it up and talk to you about it as well, to see if it was something that I ended up organizing one day. Would you be interested in this experience, and would you participate in it? Obviously, if I were to do it, it would be in person, so you would have to be in Toronto or like in the area here and willing to come and travel to sit the meditations. And then another thought also came, because I want to be able to experience this with everybody. If you don't live in Toronto, I want you to be able to have the chance to do this as well. So I thought maybe it would be something that I would organize online. I don't know. Right now, these are just thoughts. I have no clue how or when, or you know, if I will even do it, but I did want to bring it up and see if I were to do it, if you would be interested in participating. So if you would be so kind, just let me know in the comments below, and I don't know, you never know where life will take you. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today and sitting through and listening to my Vipassana experience. I really encourage you, especially if you're going through something challenging in life right now, to take the time, if you can. It is the best gift you can give yourself, to go and take the time to really do this for yourself. To give yourself this gift of time and learn how to be a more peaceful and equanimous person and less reactive. And also, the first time I went, it felt like I was doing like deep surgery on my mind and my emotions, and like really taking out whatever needed to come out to the surface and healing those painful parts. So yeah, if you have anything, and I think most human beings will have some kind of pain or trauma or anything like that they will need to work through. So yeah, I really encourage you to look into it and give yourself this gift. So that's it. I'm not gonna talk for much longer. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today is cold here, but a beautiful sunny day. So I'm enjoying the sunshine, even though it's actually still cold, but so looking forward to spring. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys very much. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Mwah. Bye.